For centuries, knowledge has been hidden in plain sight across the sands of time. Whispers of lost civilizations, cryptic symbols, and forbidden histories have been erased or concealed. What if the truth was never lost, but hidden? Welcome to Eye of Ancient Mysteries, where the past speaks and the future listens. Sit back, open your mind, and prepare to uncover the untold secrets of our world. Let the journey begin now. For decades, cryptozoologists have searched for the Mongolian death worm, a monster about 1.5 meters long with bright red skin that is said to slither through the desert. Meet the Mongolian death worm, a cryptid armed with spikes, venom, and electric shocks. The Mongolian death worm is a monstrous cryptid said to slide beneath the sands of the Gobi Desert. According to decades of alleged sightings, rumors, and legends, the Mongolian death worm is a sausage-like sand creature, dark red in color, with spikes protruding from both ends of its slippery body. Using either venomous saliva strong enough to corrode metal or electric discharges powerful enough to kill a grown man. These supposed worms are believed to inhabit the sands of the Gobi Desert. Legends about these monstrous creatures persist, but no one has ever produced solid evidence or first-hand proof of their existence. This is the true story behind the legendary Mongolian death worm, a legend passed down through generations. The Mongolian death worm is a notoriously famous creature whose legend survives through second-hand stories passed down from generation to generation. Nomadic tribes of Mongolia call it Algoi Korkoi, which roughly translates as intestine worm, due to its supposed resemblance to a cow's entrails. The blood-red, worm-like creature is said to reach up to 1.5 meters in length, but it is nothing like an ordinary worm. The Mongolian death worm is believed to possess several distinctly horrifying traits, as noted by British biologist Carl Schuker in The Unexplained, an illustrated guide to the world's natural and paranormal mysteries. The creature is said to have spike-like projections at both ends of its body. It is also believed to have terrifying ways of attacking humans or animals by spitting corrosive venom or delivering a deadly electric shock that kills its prey on the spot. According to legend, these terrifying beings spend most of their time hidden beneath the sand dunes of the Gobi Desert, but often surface during the wetter months of June and July. If a local happens to encounter one, they know to keep their distance. Searching for the elusive death worm, despite all the stories of its lethal arsenal and nightmarish appearance, the Mongolian death worm has never been photographed, though not for lack of trying. Curious researchers and fearless adventurers have scoured the Gobi Desert in search of the legendary creature. The most famous among them is Czech cryptozoologist Ivan Mackerl, one of the leading researchers of the mysterious animal who traveled to Mongolia 3 times, in 1990, 1992, and 2004, to look for the worm. Mackerl first heard of the death worm as a boy from the writings of paleontologist Ivan Yefremov. Later, in college, he met a Mongolian student who believed in the creature and became obsessed with it himself. He combed through Mongolian literature to find more clues about the death worm and eventually received government permission to conduct research there when he was in his late 40s. There lives another, more dangerous creature in the Gobi, the Algoi Korkoi. It looks like an intestine full of blood and moves underground. Its movement can be detected above the surface by the ripples of sand it displaces. Shared Ivan, inspired by Frank Herbert's 1965 science fiction novel Dune, which features giant sandworms drawn to rhythmic vibrations. Mackerel's expedition team experimented with various methods to generate vibrations underground during their search for the Mongolian death worm. One of their inventions was a motor-powered machine that produced pounding motions in the sand. Unfortunately, their efforts were fruitless, and Mackerel concluded that the creature must be a myth. Although his expeditions failed to find solid proof of the animal's existence, they provided most of the modern research material related to the Mongolian death worm. Later expeditions to track the sand beast continue to this day. Is the Mongolian death worm real? Though the legend remains strong among locals, the creature's existence has never been confirmed through physical evidence or scientific research. Zoologist Roy Chapman Andrews was the first Western explorer to take note of the legend. He learned about the elusive sand creature from Mongolian officials before his pioneering expedition to document the region's wildlife. In his 1926 book On the Trail of Ancient Man, Andrews wrote, "The Premier requested that, if possible, I capture for the Mongolian government a specimen of the Allergor Horhai. None of those present had ever seen the creature, but all firmly believed in its existence and described it in detail. The Premier said that although he had never seen it himself, he knew a man who had, and lived to tell the tale." Then a cabinet minister added that the cousin of the sister of his late wife had seen it too. Scientists generally dismiss cryptids, such as the chupacabra or Florida's skunk ape, as urban legends due to lack of evidence. Yet there remains a possibility that a creature like the Mongolian death worm could exist. After all, even Jane Goodall, one of the world's foremost primatologists, has said she is open to the idea that Bigfoot might be real. The Gobi Desert is a vast region spanning 1.3 million square kilometers of rugged terrain, making the existence of undiscovered animal species entirely plausible. Moreover, there are known species of worms that live in sand rather than soil, such as the giant beach worm, Australopithecus teres of Australia. Additionally, worms have a circulatory system that absorbs oxygen through their skin and distributes it throughout their bodies, which could theoretically allow them to grow to large sizes, like the supposed 1.5-meter length of the death worm. And yet, no one has ever captured photographic evidence of the Mongolian death worm. So how did the legend begin? Possible explanations for the legend. There are several possible explanations for the legend of the Mongolian death worm. One theory suggests that these stories may have a kernel of truth, but, like most tales passed down orally through generations, they have become greatly exaggerated. The English translation of its Mongolian name, death worm, is also somewhat misleading. Experts believe that if such a creature exists, it might be a reptile, not a soft, writhing worm. It could, for instance, be a worm lizard, a limbless, burrowing reptile resembling a giant worm that can grow several meters long, or perhaps a species of sand boa, both of which may have inspired the original accounts. Whatever the origin of the legend, cryptid researchers have not given up hope that one day the Mongolian death worm might finally be found.